Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome to another episode of expediTIously, where we engage in stimulating discussions with some of the most worthy opinions in the culture for the generation. Now, my guest today is a very special one, only because he's actually a very personal, close friend, associate, business partner, constituent, acquaintance, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. And he went from selling Crips and Bloods cola to using porn to teach carpentry. He's a rapper, an activist, a businessman, a philanthropist, an Atlanta native, proud to be a citizen, and as I stated before, a personal friend of mine, a business partner, and one of the smartest, most intelligent, articulate men I know. Mr. Michael Rundle, better known to people who don't know him personally as Killer Mike, joins us today for a very, 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 very welcome episode of expediTIously. Welcome to the show, bro.
Man, thank you, man. I know there's one person in the world who gonna watch this show and smile harder than maybe our friends and parents. That's Dr. Samuel L. Hill. So
yeah,
I want to dedicate this show to him.
Oh, Dr. Hill.
Yeah, for people who might not know, that was if Lean on Me was in Atlanta, Georgia, this man was Joe Clark. And
absolutely,
people tell me or say to me, "You think Tip did a lot of reading in prison?" I was like, "Oh, nah, he was using them big words in high school because Dr. Hill made sure everybody."
Absolutely. Now, before I get into your first question, now you brought up Dr. Hill, who was the principal at Doug High, where I went to high school. You went to high school.
My mama went there.
My mama went there. My cousins, little cousins, and big cousins, uncles, auntie, like everybody from the West Side for the most part.
With the Douglas, Washington.
It's
like going to HBCU for them people who
absolutely.
It's like going
it's like an HBCU high school.
Exactly. I just went to the annual barbecue. Mr. Murray, my old art teacher.
Word. Mr. Murray with the mustache.
Exactly.
With the thick mustache look like he in the Whispers.
Exactly. He'll teach you art and tell you to buy in the bluff in the 90s. He was telling you. But he had me come up, and I came up, and I went and took a picture with my mama class. My mom left 2 years ago.
Right.
Transition. But I went and took a picture, and they still around kicking it, man. You
that's dope.
Got a chance to see the 1976 yearbook.
Dope.
Now, I was 1 year old when she walked across the stage. I was in her belly. You know what I mean?
What? So you mean on graduation she was pregnant with you?
I was born by then, but when she walked across the stage, I was watching her. Wow. I was in the audience. But they wanted her to leave school and have me and come back, and she refused to.
Yeah, she went on. She muscled through.
She went on through 11th grade.
Yep. I seen a few cats do that. Young ladies who just refused to leave school.
Yeah,
man,
she did.
And made their way through it. And that's commendable. Shout out to all the young ladies out there, man, who had to fight through it, and overcome the odds, man, to get what you want in life. Yeah,
that's significant too, because the area that we buying in, you and I, business partners in what we hope to grow to be a franchise, Bankhead Seafood, but was a 50-year-old successful restaurant.
Right.
The lady who owned it went to my grandmother's church, Mount Olive, and we've purchased it. But as the neighborhood changes, there's certain things that I'd like to see stay the same, and that's the name of Frederick Douglass High School. Frederick Douglass, you watch Dave Chappelle's special, the autobiography of Frederick Douglass, his favorite book. So at the time I went, you had to read his autobiography, not because the Atlanta public school system mandated it, because that's what the school.
Because that was in the curriculum.
Exactly.
Me too.
Exactly. So that's one of the traditions that got kind of lost and done away with. And as we sit here in Atlanta right now, there's a superintendent who's had a job about 4 or 5 years. The school board just elected not to keep her final year, and I'm very happy.
Now we're sitting here talking about the current state of the public school system in the district where we actually were raised in, went to school in. We are products of that school.
So we're going to talk about that school.
We're going to talk about that school. However, the superintendent is the superintendent of the all the schools within that school system.
The superintendent in the 80s and 90s, early 90s, was Lester Butts, who was the former principal of Douglass High. Before him, it was Alonzo Krim.
Okay.
And
Alonzo Krim, which has a school named after him on the east side.
Exactly.
Right.
So that Lester Butts became after him. And Dr. Hill, who was a vice principal under Butts, became principal of Douglass. And Douglass is a 50-year-old institution. It was ran with a very firm hand under only 2 administrators for nearly 30, 40 years of its existence. And it was a national school of excellence. It was a magnet school. Right. It was a school in which Michael Render went there, Tip Harris went there, Judge Asha Jackson went there, numerous attorneys, city council members, a current mayor, Keisha Lance Bottoms went there, NCAA champion Cameron Dollar went there.
Absolutely.
His father was the coach. Coach Dollar, statewide recognized coach, had one of the most preeminent football teams, produced Stanley Pritchard, Jamal Lewis, Robert Hicks. So this is a black high school.
Yes, sir.
In a black working class.
A thriving black high school.
Yeah.
A black high school that produced entrepreneurs, professionals, politicians, millionaires, rappers, you know what I'm saying? Architects, the owners of Blue Flame.
You know what I mean? So
dig?
Every spectrum of the African
self-made entrepreneurial millionaire.
And this school has sunk now into the dismal abyss academically.
But it happened with gentrification.
Exactly.
It happened simultaneously.
Absolutely.
With the increase numbers of outsiders that moved in and the tearing down of the projects.
Absolutely. When they tore down the projects, people got scattered.
Right.
But beyond that, that's not what really destroyed the legacy of the school. What destroyed it was our acceptance of the charter school system, which has not produced significantly higher numbers.
Right.
In terms of graduates and testings, it's not dramatically improved overall education.
Right.
What we're seeing that it did was actually siphon the best students out.
Okay.
Leave students that were borderline or average, who would have been inspired by the best students, inspired up. Leave them there to kind of mull. And where Douglas once was a student base of 2,000 to 2,300 students,
right,
including magnet average, everything from a premier special ed program up.
Right. And
it was a school, when you entered, it had a talent center. You were business talent center, art talent center, magnet program, you could be English talent center, but they had a talent center to fit whatever you did. And entering 8th and 9th grade, their goal was to get you into a college. So if you were a good singer or theater or dance, Miss Bishop considered it her job to make sure that you went to a college.
Absolutely, and they cared.
And they cared.
They really cared.
They were products of HBCUs.
Right.
They were products of the Atlanta public school system itself, because many of them went to schools like Washington, Turner. But we somehow lost our way. And in losing our way, we've started to, in my opinion, let strangers come in and oversee something that's the Atlanta way.
That's
to me, the only person that should lead the Atlanta public school system
is a product of the Atlanta public school system.
You should be a product of the school system, and to be a teacher, student, administrator, or leader in some capacity.
Right.
I think that the Atlanta public school system deserves a citizen review board, because we should be helping pick who's going to be next.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, no ill will to the young lady that's going to be leaving.
We don't care about the ill will at all. Like,
but if you never bought a house in Atlanta, you never cared about our children.
This is true.
So go home.
This is true.
If you
go do what you're passionate about.
Yeah, because this
is holding you up from what you're really supposed to be doing.
Frederick Douglass went from being a national school of excellence, having 2 principals, to having 6 or 7 principals in 10 or 11 years.
Right.
And that's the quickest way for failure. If you want to fail, hire a head coach every other year. If you want your team to never win, you know what I mean? So I think that we've lost some of our way. But I do think Douglas is reboundable, but it's going to take people of means doing some things.
But we have a genuine passion and a sincere interest in making sure that the name of this school remains what it is, Frederick Douglass High School.
And that's bigger than black.
Yeah,
Douglass is the most photographed person of the 19th century.
Absolutely.
He is what Barack Obama is in his day and age in terms of, it's very hard to talk against Barack.
Right.
It was very hard to talk against Douglass, because he was a kingmaker. He was a person that had direct relationship with the United States president, who was bringing about the abolishment of slavery.
Yeah.
That's a pretty significant thing. He was prime in the abolitionist movement. He was a leader not only the abolitionist movement, but the women's suffrage movement. He was the first person to say rights of no sex. And rights are of no sex and something is of no color. But that example
is it freedom is of no color?
Something like that. I forget. I'm forgetting right now. I'm blanking out because I'm a little stoned.
It's
sorry,
something
Dr.
like
Hill.
that. I know he said with no struggle there's no progress.
He did say that.
Yes,
that's what we learned as a student coming in. You're
that's what we learned that. We learned that shit early.
That was the first thing you saw.
First thing, without struggle. Prepare to struggle.
Or you will not
prepare to struggle, or else your ass will perish. You struggle or perish. You dig what I'm saying?
And that's the lesson I feel like.
And it went from that to goddamn trap or die.
Yeah.
You see the juxtaposition there? You know, there's an extreme duality in both of our lives in our upbringing and the lifestyles that we chose.
Yeah, but you know what though? I will say, like, if you look at Frederick Douglass, one of my heroes was Fat Steve from Going Home. Fat Steve Jones, right? So Danny Boy, I know was one of yours. So these are two guys we talking about. These are street guys.
Danny Boy, these street cat. Danny Boy was the first cat that actually, you know, pay me to do a show for real.
Exactly.
That was my first $5,000-$10,000. Like, he basically, when I would charge $5,000-$6,000 a show, he paid me up front for like 5-6 shows. Yeah. Which was a lot of money for me at the time. From rap.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And I went and got myself together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And what's cool about Danny is Danny see you in the flight now, just come up and shake your hand and it just be genuine and love. Steve, I talked to one of my barbers communications with him. Steve's in federal prison, unfortunately. Now hopefully he'll be home soon.
Right on.
But Steve,
but due to the crack era, the war on drugs.
Exactly, and the 94 drug law.
Due to the war on drugs and the entrapment legislation that had been pushed forward that kind of perpetuated.
Shouts out to Joe Biden.
Right. That perpetuated the recidivism that we see in our communities when it comes to drugs, guns, cocaine, and crack cocaine.
Absolutely. The thing about Steve
and marijuana.
Absolutely. The thing about Steve is much like Danny Boy with you. He didn't invest in money in me because I knew Steve before rap, but he invested mind state and mentality in me. So if you came out your granddaddy's house and went to the right, you was going to Bankhead.
Right.
If I came out my grandma's house and went forward, I was going to Adamsville. So I hung more in Adamsville because my great-grandma lived on Simpson.
Right.
So wasn't no trapping over there, but my auntie lived in the Temp. So I could go to the Temp and hang out. But because I ran over in the Temp and in Adamsville, sometimes it wasn't always friendly with the Born Home crowd.
Right.
They, them two groups didn't always get along.
That's right. Adamsville and Born Home, they notoriously. Really, Adamsville and Bankhead all together.
Yeah, it could get friction, but
which is why our relationship is such an odd one.
Exactly.
You know, it's ironic that you're from Adamsville, I'm from Bankhead, and we became the best of friends in this shit.
You know what I mean? It was Steve, though, owned the Boys in the Hood barbershop on Bankhead.
That's right.
And my cousin Jimmy, who went to Doug with me, got a job cutting in there. Mm-hmm. And I remember going with my cousin to get my cut, and he would use me as a test dummy to get the job.
Right.
And I can remember my homies, like even Carlos, even Shawty Lo, who's a little younger, but I remember them walking in and looking in the barbershop like, man, this nigga finna get his ass beat. What the fuck he in here for? Right. Like it's getting dark. You were cool those days.
But no, it was really like being from Adamsville on Bankhead was really like a blood in a Crip neighborhood. It really was.
But with the young boys, like the older dudes were making money together. It wasn't so much a thing, but us.
I'm talking about people our age.
Yeah, it was on site. Yeah, it was like I catch you at the station.
Sure.
Man. You getting jumped today,
buddy.
Like but I can remember Steve coming in. And he was saying, where you from? And I said, I'm from the Ville. All right, go on, let him. And it was a pass.
Right.
And him just saying that, but I love Steve because Steve wore a polo. He wore the Guess jeans with the creases. He might pull up in a tow truck, and he wore a Rolex, just a simple Rolex. Reason why I wear a Submariner today, when I looked up to him, but he was the first drug dealer that I knew that wasn't about flash. Like, he was the first dude to tell me, I own 23 houses in this community. He was the first dude to tell me, yeah, I got a Benz, but I drive a tow truck because, that's my work truck, and police ain't really trying to miss. So he taught me the business mentality, and he's one of the reasons I got into the barbershop business. Now, my goal for my barbershop is a bigger one. My brand is a big one, and these things are grown. But every time he talked to me, like when Danny talk about you in the club to me, it's a sense of pride. So I know that our legacy, as well as being civil rights legacy, as well as being working people's legacy, like we are dope boy legacies. They're men of the streets,
refugees of the war on drugs.
They gave us some love, and part of what our passion for helping kids, for helping Douglas High, for helping our communities, Adamsville, Bankhead. Part of that passion come from, it was people who invested in us that were street people. And I want, before I die, for them to get their roses. I want Danny Boy to get his roses. I want Big D and Tight to get their roses. You know what I mean? I want the people, my Uncle Ant-Man, to get their roses. I want people who were here who invested in people like us to get their roses too, because there's a lot of dudes out there that put $1 in a kid's pocket just buying the water today that's going to make sure them kids never get into robbing or killing or stealing or selling drugs.
Yeah, speaking of the kids selling water, because, sometimes me me and my younger brothers, man, we get into it. Yeah. I tell you why. Cause I pull up, they be out there by the Trap Music Museum, right on, North Side and Bankhead doing their thing. And I pad back and forth so much, they know my car.
Me too.
So they'll see me and they'll chase down my car and leave a post and run after me all the way down to the museum and say, "Come on, man, Tip, here we go, man. Hey, look, don't motherfucker run up on me. Stop hustling and come to me like I'm finna save you
every day." Yeah,
don't you do that?
I shot with you once.
Ain't no one goddamn car finna save your entire day.
Consistent.
You dig what I'm saying? Consistent. You had the right idea. You supposed to be out there hustling. Now, how much money have you possibly missed running after me?
Absolutely.
Now get your ass on back up there. Get back to hustling. Don't come back here like I'm goddamn to save you.
Absolutely.
And don't look for no man to save you.
Absolutely.
Ain't no one man finna come here.
Now somebody
save your ass.
Somebody gonna see this and be like, "Oh, Tip is a man. I thought he was woke and he was helping the kids," but that's how we learn business. Like I tell my barbers all the time, like I learned business selling cocaine.
That's real.
And I knew I was too smart to be selling cocaine. So I
didn't.
Yeah, see, I did, though. And that comes with a certain type of anxiety because my thing was, I'm going to die out here. Like, I'm going to fuck around and be the guy who wasn't supposed to die that died here, So I had to take everything. And when all my partners was buying, I ran with some Decatur dudes, too.
Right.
Man, when they were buying them Monte Carlos, putting them McLeans on them, it's just like nothing more in the world I wanted. But I had a choice. I could buy this MPC, this ASR,
right,
or I could buy these wheels. And I started making the decisions that I thought. I remember I bought my first Submariner at 19. I caught it for like $6,400 at a pawn shop.
Goodness.
And bought it and had to take it back because I got fucked up and had to re-up.
Damn.
And I paid $64. I think the pawn dude gave me $6 for it back.
What?
So I still ended up losing $400. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
But I was like, man, I learned then don't go before you ready. I learned those lessons. So when I remember opening up our first shop, having to wait to build it. I remember you coming down showing love.
Slow and consistency.
Exactly. And that's what I tell the little
slow,
homies
consistent grind
with the water.
Key.
Exactly. I'm not going to buy water every time, but clean up around your space.
Yeah.
Don't have it looking like a trap so the police won't bother you. Push the Kroger thing back at the end of it.
Right.
So all those things I kind of brought out. So I really get offended a lot of times when people try to act as though the advice that you give in particular is not worthy because you survived and thrived in the streets.
All of it. Absolutely, it take all of it. It takes a full village.
Yeah, absolutely.
It take a full village. And me, myself, personally, what I can't do is enable mediocrity.
Absolutely.
You understand what I'm saying? One of the worst things that I hate more than anything, man, for a young man, little boy to run up on me and hold their hand out and say,
something.
Tip, give me some money.
Yeah,
Tip,
man.
give me some.
Yeah,
help me. And like just beat straight up and down, I tell them, listen, don't run up to no man asking them for no money because you ain't going you don't know what you don't know what he want back in return.
Absolutely.
And if money's all it take to have you will get got.
Absolutely.
You dig what I'm saying? Because somebody gonna give you exactly what it take for you to do exactly what the fuck you don't need to be doing.
Absolutely.
Whatever that may be.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Motherfucker give you $100 bill till you get in the car, take you somewhere you don't know what the fuck going on, you don't know where you going, what you doing, and then you end up in a compromising position.
Absolutely.
Don't put yourself in that vulnerable spot. Hustle for yours. Grind for yours. Don't look for no one man to come save you. Didn't nobody come save me.
Yeah. What I can't have, I don't want.
You dig what I'm saying?
You have to get in that mentality. Like if I can't have it now, I simply don't want it.
What's for me won't miss me.
Absolutely.
You dig what I'm saying? But look though, man, we got a lot of show to talk. And for us, I want to start with, let's tell people about our relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of motherfuckers feel like we just met each other yesterday.
Yeah.
So let's talk about our relationship, how far we go back, and how long we've stuck together.
Man, it's about 16, 17 years. When it's longer,
Nah, it's been longer than that.
It's almost 20 years at this point.
It's been damn near 20 years.
Yeah.
99.
Yeah, man.
It had been 20 years.
Yeah, it had. I remember hearing about
going into 2000.
Yeah, I remember getting, I hadn't even signed a deal, but I was running around with Outkast then. I had recorded a few verses that was coming out and used. But I remember hearing about you and Jason. And at turn, I don't even know. Jason was managing you, but he still held a position.
Sure.
I think with KP's or with some company that was LA.
He was at Patchwork.
That's what it was. Yeah, He still held a position. Patchwork. And I remember meeting Jay. Jay was literally rolling up posters. You know, the old posters we had on the Kangos.
Right on.
You still pimp gang there. But I just remember, man, just hearing about you first and hearing about you working with Toon. And DJ Swift, Cutmaster Swift, Outkast DJ and Big Boy's DJ. Is him and Toomp have came up together in this industry. He's one of the best DJs in the world and one of the greatest guys. But he took me to Toomp to hear some of your stuff.
Right.
KP let me hear some of your stuff. So before I ever met you, I was just like, man, this dude from the West Side, this little nigga rapping. You know, and I think we might have seen each other in the Gentleman's Club. You still had the gold toothpicks around that time. Had the Cartiers.
Right on.
And I know we met again in the office, but I was cheering for you. We was from the same community, basically.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm just like, I got to cheer for him, and he just could rap his ass off. That was just, I need pressure to thrive. So in Atlanta at that time, man, a lot of shit just wasn't dope. Lyrically, it was no challenge.
It wasn't dope.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
It wasn't dope. I mean, now, don't get me wrong. It was successful.
Yeah.
But as far as the criteria of what we deem as appropriate, as far as, lyricism and just
patterns,
quality, production value, it just wasn't dope. Now, I'm happy that those people made the money that they made to get themselves out the hood and make a way for their family. But if you ask me, the shit just wasn't dope. It wasn't for my ride. And so, in my opinion, it wasn't dope.
I said it was dope for what it was.
It was good. It's something for somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
It's something for somebody. Exactly. And in the club, that shit's the best.
Man, my man Cuz.
But when you clean it up at the house, goddammit, you're not finna play it.
Exactly, man. My man Cuz say all the time, he say you and Tip never allowed y'all self to be labeled crunk music.
No.
And that's not dissing crunk, but he said in the midst, because we came up in the midst of the growth of crunk era, we always let it be known like we rappers, we MC. That's what we do. It's a Southern perspective. Me, you, and Phil Mob at the time came a couple years later, but it was a determination there to be, I wanted to be respected everywhere.
Because I took trips back and forth to New York every summer from the time I was 5 to the time I was 15, I myself just knew how they looked at us.
Yeah.
I fought in the summer, all my Puerto Rican, Dominican, and my New York partner. We fought and went back and forth about my accent, about, our culture, about, you know what I'm saying? Because, New York is a real motherfucking arrogant place.
They're going to break your balls.
Yeah. If you ain't from New York, you going to catch hell. I don't give a damn where you from. Especially in the 80s and early 90s. So I always, more than anything, want them to know, man, we bite that life just as much as y'all live. We can rap just as good as y'all can.
Absolutely.
And basically, as 3000 said at the Source Award, the South got something to say. You dig what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That was always my purpose and intention. Yeah. But our relationship has been longevitous in the sense of we've been in different positions.
Yeah, in flux. Our whole relationship.
Like in our life, in our careers, in our success. Like I remember when we first met, you were the successful one. You were the chosen one, anointed by Outkast.
Yeah.
You had the whole world record. You had the action record.
Yeah.
Goddamn, like you were like the Southern Biggie. You know what I'm saying? That's what motherfuckers was labeling you at. And I was the young nigga trying to come up and just, finding my way, and we were still friends.
Absolutely.
I never felt like you ever motherfucking tried to shine on me or do some old high class cap ass shit. And we moved on to a place where we
never scared. It was a big moment.
Never scared was a huge moment for both of us.
Yeah, because I remember like when we did that record. I originally did that record with Reese and Bigelow and Bone Crusher. Reese and Bigelow were out of Mississippi, and Crusher and Dan acquired the record. The business of that I don't know, but the record got pulled back as just a Crusher record and me. And I remember him calling saying he wanted to put Tip on. I was like, abso-fucking-lutely. like you got to do that. And you had a show or something. Because I remember your voice maybe was a little hoarse. Right. But you came in and gave it to him because they were trying to pressure him to get somebody else on it to get it in. And Crushers from Adamsville, like Depot by the Plainville side. And we both like held our nuts like, no, like it's gonna be Shawty. And you jumped on that record and it kind of exploded. And what was crazy though is, as much as I had been anointed by Outkast and I appreciated the look, I never snubbed my nose that it wasn't, because we from the same place, it wasn't me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew I got on the whole world and shocked the world.
Right.
I knew I showed up and held my nuts.
Right.
You know, I knew with Action, Dre had given me something that was memorable and that I feel like was light years ahead of time, because Run the Jewels kind of finds ourselves in that space with that sound.
Right on.
But who we were coming off the streets, Never Scared really exemplified that in a different way.
It was the personification of what the fuck we represented and what we intended.
Absolutely.
To mean to the game.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
It was the perfect. And I remember when we were doing Reaction.
The remix to Action, yeah.
Bun came and got on it.
Bun dusted my ass off.
He dusted the song off.
I'm talking about, and I figured, I pride myself on my lyricism. You know what I'm saying? That's my thing. I get in that motherfucker and I do my shit. And I didn't suck.
Neither of us did.
We did a fucking superlative job.
Yeah, but we was in awe. I remember Bun walked in the room. We were both
like,
sitting there
God damn. Bun in that bitch, man. And he came in that motherfucker and he served us both.
Yeah, and we was just kind of like, okay. like,
that's how this gonna go, huh?
But we learned. So it was these moments that brought us together. I remember, man, like I ran with Flip and Hump hard because they gave us education. My whole little clique, Grind Time and PSC, we was all loved each other.
Sure.
Mad Bone. It was just genuine love.
That's right.
And I remember them educators. I remember, man, I don't know what that boy said that got on your nerve, but I was just like, well, this ain't gonna go well. Because, like where we from, my mom told me, you don't tell the tale and snitch on your friends. And once that's your partner, that's your partner. And we was from the same place. And I just remember, I was like, well, probably it's not gonna go good. But I'm with my dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was just like, I seen Birthday Bash, I seen the signs, I seen Dro. I remember I had bought a pristine, beautiful Bonneville. Still had the skirts on it. Dro still talk about it. He said, you really nigga in Atlanta, you rolled up in the Bonneville on Hubcaps and did in Vogue.
Yeah.
Because shit, that was the
that's
shit
where
to
we
me.
from.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
That's what it was. It was lime green, light green, mint green. It was beautiful. And I just remember.
Now it's lima bean green.
It's lima bean.
Lincoln green.
Exactly. I remember you putting it, and I was just like, man, I was like, dog finna cut dog head off, man. And you did it. And
I mean, as much as I can look back and gloat on shit like that.
He was a good dude. He's a good dude.
I mean, you know what the odd thing is? I never had an opportunity to ever get to know him personally.
Man, he really is a good dude. And it's like boxing. It's like fighters fight. It's like, but I knew in that moment, like this nigga Tilt is probably going to be my partner for life, because I made the decision, not made the decision, but just as much as I couldn't get in the way of it because I knew you at that. Cause I know me.
Right.
Like once I'm there, I'm there. Okay, it's just finna go down. Right. We'll figure it out later. And it's finna. Yeah. But I understood it, and so I couldn't say you was wrong.
Sure.
But it just put me in a position of just understanding that this guy, between the music we made, between how friendly we are, between how our homeboys click up, like it's probably gonna be
basically this shit is entrenched in genuine love and respect.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Now, but
and then you took off.
Then
you drive.
and then our relationship it like we went on up and then I think your relationship with Outkast had got itself into a rocky spot.
Yeah.
So it's almost like we switched our role reverse in some ways, and we still was partners.
Yeah.
We still were partners. We never, fell out because I was in a position that you wasn't, and loyal and respectful to one another.
I tell people, and my wife will attest to this, in matters of envy, constantly check yourself.
Right.
Because no one is above the feeling of envy.
Right.
But you have to check yourself.
The actions that come with it, that's your responsibility to monitor.
Exactly. You have to, at the moment you hear yourself saying, why not me? The moment you catch yourself doing that, stop and have a talk with yourself. Right. I've seen many people in your circumference, from members of PSC to people that were on labels that you've tried to help. I've seen them succumb to the why not me.
Right.
And at any point in our friendship, had I felt the why not me, I would have checked myself. You know what I mean? Because that's a poisonous, cancerous thing. And it's something you have to check. It's something when you see your friend on award shows, you see your friend winning, you see your friend dominating the club and theaters, you see your friend, that why not me is going to try to creep in there. The devil going to try to talk to you.
Absolutely.
But you just got to not accept it. I celebrated you every step of the way because I seen you suffer. I seen you suffer unjustly. I seen you suffer when the face didn't understand you and try to turn you into who they wanted you to be. I seen you have the nuts and the gall to put out a mixtape series. I seen you walk away from a generous bad boy offer to build something on your own.
Right.
I saw you resist the urge to take money and put it back in the streets and dump it into a construction company.
Right.
I saw you do so many things that was self-sacrificing, and I had been nudged along the way. Oh, man, how you feel about that nigga calling himself king of the South? See, a king. Like, what the fuck you talking about? That's my partner. He came up with the title. He deemed himself a king. What, you gonna go try to take the crown? Go do it. Just see what happened to the last 3 niggas did this shit.
Dig what I'm saying?
For me, I had been so tested through the fire that it made me a better human being to cheer for my friend while I figured out me. Like, it gave me an opportunity to figure out who I was and who I wanted to be. And one of the most special moments in my life was walking in the Trap Museum. Because you didn't tell me what was in there. You invited me through. And the first 2 things you see, now it's been months of raging who invented trap music, who trap music and this. And, you know, and I respect and got love for all parties that were involved in that subtle argument.
Right.
But the beginning of trap music is DJ Toomp and T.I. We know that. But right under that, you said 2003, Killer Mike drops Monster, the first attempt at a conscious trap album. Right. And that is exactly what Monster was.
That's exactly what it was.
Monster was a college-educated kid out the Ville who was not supposed to be doing what he was doing, who knew that, who was living and with anxiety, stress, smoking a pack of Newports a day, drinking, drugging, thugging, because he did not want to do that. And you got that. That Mama, I Don't Want to Sell Drugs No More record, that Niecy song record. Yeah. And the fact that my friend recognized that, man, it just meant a lot. I hadn't even told you that. But it meant the fucking world to me, you know, because I've never sought to even be recognized in that space or that place. But that was such an honest depiction, you know. So I'm glad that I don't succumb to even accept the voice of why not me. Right. I'm glad that our friendship has shown me that success was possible, because if you have successful friends and you stay in that circle, success won't be far away.
That's right.
It's just going to come your way. We've known Lil Duval was who he was for damn near 20 years.
This is true.
And you know, he's made music, I know, for at least 10 to 13.
He has.
So when I saw...
And he never switched up.
Never switched up.
No matter the success, no matter how much, how many people have received it the way he wanted to receive it, or how many people didn't receive it the way he wanted to receive it. He never switched up. He always stayed consistent.
Absolutely.
And true to what the fuck he felt he represented.
That's the secret. I remember, man, when and people, what people don't know, what people do know, is I'm one of the only people who can say I'm associated and affiliated with Dungeon Family and Grand Hustle. Because when I did get back into the full way of saying, all right, I do want to put out tapes in a bigger way again, you gave me an opportunity by bringing me over to Grand Hustle. And I remember saying, you know, my wife had told me before, why don't you just go to Tip? And I'm like, man, he got enough on him. Like, he's trying to break artists. I don't want to be another burden. And I'm out here slanging the grind time tapes. Me, Cuz like your Peel, who went on to go with MMG, Drop Trap, Going Ham, did a short stint over there. Cuz, who's currently in Mass Appeal. I remember you saying, we did the Andrew and Walter Young YMCA. We spoke to some kids together. Yeah. And I was like, man, you know, I think I want to put out Pledge 3, but I don't want to just do it with SMC and Empire. I'd like to, you know, have Grand Hustle be a part of it. Right. And you was like, man, we could have been did that. I was like, well, I ain't want to bother. You said, man, all you had to do was ask. You know, and like a lot of people would have taken that away because that's what you conditioned to do now. But really, in matters of friendship, I remember telling my wife, she's like, yeah, fool, that's your friend. All you had to do was, but, you know, you have something to prove to me, to myself, and at that time, I was still trying to prove to Big Boy. I could see it, but I will say my time away from Big Boy in particular taught me to appreciate him more in matters of friendship, because I didn't understand heavy is the head that wears the crown. Right. I've seen you and him, in particular, carry 20 to 30 people, and I don't mean take care of, I mean give opportunity to have job and to create commerce. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. And that's something I always admired about you. And some of my finest,
and diffuse conflict
all the time.
Like, that is the thing. To have a large group of people that you are responsible for, but they will naturally kind of click themselves into two separate groups instead of one group.
Yeah.
So kind of like, Grand Hustle has always been, let's call it Grand Hustle right, Grand Hustle left.
Yeah.
It's always been multifaceted in that way and had a duality of sorts, because early Grand Hustle you had Jason, Clay, Hannah, Snake.
Yeah.
All right. And then you also had Doug, C-Rod, KT, Phil, Matt Boney. And for some reason, I always found myself in the middle. Trying to mediate the issues between Jason, Hannah, Clay, and Snake, and Doug, C-Rod, KT, Phil, and Matt Boney. Now, that shit there, aside from just creating opportunities, aside from just, doing what it takes to keep the business going, that the psyche of like the anxiety, just that shit get on your nerve to a point where it get hard to be creative.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you love both groups.
Yeah.
And I really never understood why the fuck y'all can't just get the fuck along. It ain't that you don't like each other, so what the fuck is it? You know what I'm saying? And I feel like one group may have felt they may have been too senior in a more executive place to have to work eye to eye, shoulder to shoulder with people who they should have been mentoring.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't know what that was. And then from the other side, I think that Matt Boney, Doug, C-Rod, Phil, and them, they felt like, well, listen, we do just as much work. We on the front line just like everybody else. Yeah. We deserve the same opportunities. And both of them had valid points.
Yeah.
So eventually, all those things took its way. But the conflict, it never fails when you deal with us and our people.
Yeah, but I will say this in regards to knowing everybody involved, rest in peace to Philant too, that everybody has since moved on in some capacity, still does business with you in some capacity.
And each other.
And still do business with each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the ultimate lesson I like for people to take.
They just want to wear me the motherfucking
Yeah. Well, you the
felt
leader.
like it would have been too easy.
You are the leader, man.
We can't make this shit too easy for
Hey, man, you and Big, man, I tell y'all all the time, man. Y'all boys, man, the leader and the boss. Y'all are true leaders, man. Like, you know what I mean?
Man,
I remember calling Big just saying, man, I want to let you know, he like a big brother, so he don't even accept apology. I say, when we had our split of sorts, which he don't acknowledge, he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. That was everybody else. All right, we good. I said, I didn't understand how difficult a task you had. I didn't understand making payroll. I didn't understand, until I got out on the road myself for a tour.
Right.
You come home, everybody else get paid.
And you go home with nothing.
Exactly.
You owe money.
We owe too much. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I remember me and my wife come home. She didn't tour, she didn't did the merch, she didn't drove.
Yeah.
And I owed, but I got it paid. But I got on my path. And that's what didn't, for me, man, just my friendships are built around people I admire, people I respect. And you one of those people. He's one of those people. I was telling him, I was like, I'm starting to see gang graffiti in the suburbs and like California. I'm starting to see it in, like the cab, like something's wrong. And there was one female ATF agent, there was a director of something, black woman, it was a white guy that was with her. And all she wanted to know about was T.I. What the fuck is she talking about? You know what I mean?
What year was this?
It was the year you got arrested, or
after or before?
It was before. I'm gonna tell you the story because I told you about it. And I remember afterwards just telling Alice, my mentor and friend, God bless her, I was like, I said, I'm not talking back to them. I said, I'm trying to tell them that it's a wave of violence and crazy shit coming. I said, she keep asking about my partner. I said, she just made me uncomfortable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I didn't worry about it. When the gun charge happened and they hit you, I remember the white boy who was with her. He called me and to apologize. He said, Mike, I'm just going to tell you, this was, I know she asked you a bunch of questions, but we didn't know. This came in on a tip, such. And I just remember, man, like, just thinking, you a motherfucking lie. And I don't know fucked up shit, just like I'm here trying to and now we look at Atlanta, we do indeed have a gang problem.
But to be honest with you, gangs are inevitable.
No, we know this.
Gangs are inevitable. You couldn't have stopped that. I couldn't have stopped that. They couldn't have stopped
We could have dealt with it differently. We could have engaged young people differently.
I feel like it's inevitable simply because we can't be everywhere all the time.
Yeah, but I don't think the goal should be to stop gangs like in my show. I think the goal should be to tribalize, to socialize, and to steer them in a direction that's more fraternal, like a fraternity. So I wasn't talking about ending nothing as much as I knew gang members already that had been in here. I was like, we should start things now to engage these young men. But I can remember the white boy hit me in there, and when you got out, I told you the story, and you said it was the funniest shit in the world. It was like two old men. You said, well, damn, I wish you would have told me. And, man, I was just like, not ever since then, even if I hear a whisper on the street about anything, I can call and say, man, just, look out, be straight. Because I understood at that moment a target was on our back for who we were.
Right.
And when I say our, this is a rapper that ended up in a Hillary Clinton email in a WikiLeaks, years later. So technically, you and I probably...
Which one? Who?
Me. They said Killer Mike didn't get the message. And then I printed it up on a T-shirt and made a bunch of money off of it.
You didn't get the message from what?
Well, there was a time I said something in a campaign that her campaign didn't appreciate. They used all their press agents against me to try to defile me.
What happened? Tell us about that, because I didn't know about that.
Jane Elliott, who was a woman.
Jane Elliott, I know Jane Elliott. She's a friend of mine.
She made a statement that she wouldn't vote for Hillary Clinton simply based on the fact she was a woman. And the way she said it was just a way only a woman should say. Right. Well, I repeated it at a speech, and it caused a stirring controversy. That really wasn't a big deal.
I made a joke about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I made a joke about it and got in some trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
I never really cared. I don't care if you're a man or a woman or nothing. I was just joking.
Exactly. So, but they'll nail you to a cross in front of public.
Absolutely.
Just because it makes for good, campaign fodder.
Sure.
Well, when Julian Assange let the WikiLeaks go on her, a WikiLeaks popped up that said, I guess Killer Mike didn't get the message. They threw everything against me, just like they do people like when they were just trying to essentially cut off the head of the snake. I pressed up that shirt. I hit my lawyers, made sure it was legal to press it up. We pressed it up and called it the Killer Mike I Don't Check Messages shirt. And I made a shit ton of money. So I definitely want to thank the DNC and the campaign.
We've always made a way out of no way. Took lemons and made lemonade, man. I think that is largely attributed to where we come from.
Yeah, that's what you do.
Okay, so you and I, we connected as brothers and business partners to release your record.
Yeah, Pledge 3.
The third Pledge installment.
Yeah. Ready, Set, Go was the record that No ID produced.
That shit was dope as hell.
Yeah, he hit me the other night playing it. He jumped in the lift and was playing it and said, I take this as a sign. So
all right, now
beat some
shit. and I think that that video was also dope.
The video was stupid, though. We shot in the laundromat over there in the Vine.
On the east side, right?
Yeah, God bless the dead. I think the man died a year or two after this thing. His family still has it, but it was a dope. It looked like it was dope because it looked like the old mob movies when they in the back of their business.
Right.
Yeah, I really.
And the one we did with Bun over there, like the horror movie motherfucker.
Yeah, that was Big Beast. That was off rap music.
Okay.
And rap music came out through William Street Grand Hustle. So that was when Jason DeMarco. I remember when Jason came over for a meeting with you, and after that meeting, Jason came out and said, "Hey, we're going to relaunch William Street Records, and I'd like for you to do a record over there. Essentially, make your America's Most Wanted." And you say anything you want to, and you were just like, shit, of course, you should do it. And we ended up with rap music. That was the first album that Elle and I worked on together. Right. And it was called a classic. He produced the whole thing.
Sure.
And the next thing you know, Run the Jewels happened. And
Run the Jewels is a masterful resurgence for Killer Mike's music.
Yeah.
And Run the Jewels is not only a rap group, but a movement and a true testament to music being the universal language that combines us unifies us rather than being the divisive tactic that can tear us down and separate us.
Man.
So you and L are very unlikely partners. Yeah. If you see the two of you standing next to each other, I don't think that you could find two more contrary people.
They're going to think I'm insecurity.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how did that come about?
Man, when Jason suggested, when me and Jason decided, so this is how cool rap music is. Rap music was titled, because I saw Maurice Garland, who's a writer and cultural curator here in Atlanta. He's written about both of us. He's one of the greatest, culture guys in the city. He put up on his Twitter, rebellious African people's music. And I hit him and said, don't put that anywhere else. I'm using that. And I ran with that title because truly that's what the vibe of rap music is. Like, we are rebels. It is a African-based drumming system, but it's people's. Sure. So it's not just black people, but people's music, meaning it's of the salt of the earth. You know what I'm saying? And after having the title, Jason and I talked about having producers, and it was originally supposed to be like maybe 3-4 producers. But I got in the studio with L first, and I can remember Hannah saying to me, you were shooting a video in Magic City. You had Paul Wall on the set there. Okay. And I had Chamillionaire with me, and I was coming through, and I remember calling you saying, hey, I'm coming through. I want to let you know I got a guest with me, but he with me. This one, Paul and Cam, I don't know how well they were getting along or not getting along. But I popped up on the set, and Cam was with me. It was me, Cam, and CeeLo produced Kryptonite, him and Nikki Reefer. And he was like, I don't know if my man really rock with him. I say, but, Tip, he with me. And you was like, he with you? He you then. And that was just it. Right. It was like, even that, our friendship stayed intact. Like, like if he with you, he's you for the day. So, you know what I'm saying? So he ain't got to worry about nothing on this set. You know what I'm saying? Right. Everything's okay. Right. But L was supposed to do just 3 songs. Right. L ended up doing Big Beast first. That's the one you and Bun got on. Okay. We did that record. We did 2 more records that day. And I remember calling Jason saying, hey, dog, this white boy got to do the, and Jason's white too. I said, man, this white boy got to do the whole album. Because I had truly found the sound. But I said the Magic City thing when I brought Chamillionaire through because Hannah told me that day. Hannah said, Mike, you got everything it takes. You rhyme your ass off. You got personality. You dope. She said, it's just the beats. She said, you just picking bad beats. And Hannah, everybody know Hannah. She's a Korean sister. Man. And Koreans is like the black people.
From Decatur, though.
Yeah, she from Decatur. Like, they fry great fried chicken. Right. They got hella swag.
Oh, shit.
And they drink whiskey and talk shit. You know what I'm saying? That's all my Korean friends, not just her. Yeah. But she from the deck, and she just said, you got to get some better beats, dog. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And L was the better beats. He was my sound. Much like when you and Toon connected with a sound. Much like when you and C Gutter connected with a sound.
What made you you guys, what made you all call your group Run the Jewels?
Old school cool J-Line. You know what he said? Put your hands up and keep them up and run your jewels. And that was just a way of saying you getting robbed. You know how you jump on the martyr train. Sure. If you seen some shit you like and you run that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's that simple. Now, what Run the Jewels turned into culturally was something much bigger than us. Sure. I remember me and L running around. I'm happy just to be doing the 300 to 500 people rooms because I really had got a place where I fell on my ass. And then you get into the mixtape market. You know, thanks to companies like Empire and stuff, you can start making a way. Right. My wife still get all my Empire checks from all my mixtapes. I remember signing them over to her, just saying, in case the worst should happen, you're gonna always have this. With L and I, we were running around doing these rooms, and then we went up to the bigger rooms, the 700, 800 people rooms, and what we started seeing was it'd be a group of kids that come to see Killer Mike that knew me from my prime, and it was a group of people, because L used to own a successful company called Def Jux that was independent. The term independent as fuck comes from that company, right? So there was a group of people that would come to see L. Now, our groups of people are around our age, some a little younger, some a little older and shit, right? And then there'd be this other group of people, these kids. And I knew they was kids because they had X's on their hands. That meant they couldn't drink. So I would open, and L would come out next. Okay. And then we come out as Run the Jewels. So I come out, Killer Mike fans, dope. L come out with the full band and stuff. He do it, L, dope. Right. And these kids would just kind of be like, yeah, that was dope. That was nice. All right. Then we come back out. We dry off our sweat, throw on some, throw on another black T-shirt, go out as Run the Jewels. And the kids would lose their fucking mind. Right. Like, yeah. And and it tripped me out because I was like, am I a new nigga? Did I transform in the back? and that's when I understood we had magic. And I remember coming off that tour and my manager saying, so what are we going to do? We're going to get back to a solo album. I was like, I ain't a solo album. I'm in a group. Right. This is what we doing.
Right.
And 3 albums later, here we go. You know,
that's dope. Okay, now this is just a reminder for everybody to go to expediTIously.com to get all of your expediTIously merch. And if you don't know how to spell it, look it up, motherfucker. It's the information age. expediTIously.com. You ain't even got to make the TI capital in the none of it.